Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
What's up, everybody? This is Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah. We got another episode of Fight Club of Pain. There's more than two. There's one. First of all, we got Dan. Happy birthday. Welcome to the show again. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm excited, man. We get to talk about fights. And matter of fact, so excited. I've been talking about a lot of fights with Walker, who is a huge Julius Juicebox Walker fan that led us to each other, kind of a lot of interactions on the X. And here you are. Welcome to Bring the Pain.
What's up, guys? So excited to be on here. So excited to talk about some fights. Really excited. Crazy.
It's cool. It's cool, man. So as we're talking, of course, we have a huge fight card in Houston. A lot of great fights. Definitely when I was doing the pregame to this show, I'm looking at an exact flip of last week. I'm looking at 10 finishes and 4 decisions because I want violence. Dan, do you want violence on this card?
I want violence in every card, but I see a lot more decisions than you do, man.
You do. Walker, how about you?
I see a lot of I think it's gonna be 50-50. I think there's gonna be a half and half, or as close to half and half as we can get to finishes and decisions.
So you're looking at like an 8-6, 7-7?
Yeah, 7-7, 8-6, somewhere in that area.
Just I want the ladder has to be the finishes.
Yeah,
we need the finishes. So that week off sometimes gets us all flustered. We don't really know what to do with ourselves, so we just run right to the X or Facebook, whatever way, and we see all this crazy news coming out. We've of course got this huge fight between Rousey and our girl Carano. Last we knew, she was locked up with Disney in a big battle. Out of nowhere, Netflix is going to pay them both to fight. Is this a fight that you'll watch, Dan?
Hell no. You can't tell me this fight ain't a money grab.
You don't think it's Walker? What about you?
I'm watching it. I'm watching it because I have a Netflix account. Why not? Why not just throw it on?
Damn.
If it was a pay-per-view, hell no, I'm not paying for it. Oh, no. Hell no.
Yeah, you can't tell me this isn't a money grab, man. You figure it's getting promoted by the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Everything they do is a money grab.
Pretty much. But I don't think Ronda Rousey would sell out like that. She's going to come in there mean. And I got to say, Rousey's probably going to win this. Carano's bigger, but Carano was never really that good.
Carano has stand-up. Rousey cannot take a punch to save her life. Look at all her fights. What's going on, guys?
Oh, yeah. So we do have comments coming in. What's up, Kayla? What's up, Virginia? Y'all ready to talk some fights? I'll throw them up on the screen. Everybody will get to see that as well, too. So flipping it back to you, Walker. Speaking about the undercard, let's get into that because, of course, we got 3 main fights we're going to cover. And then, of course, you're going to get a DFS lineups. Actually, Dan, I was talking with DFS with Walker here, and he was like, wait a minute, what? And so I was throwing him off a little bit. What up, Greg? He said punch with these people. So we'll go with Walker first. What one fight right now before we move to other fights stands out the most to you on the undercard?
Ooh.
That you want to see? I know there's like 6, right? But like we're going to talk about those 6. But which one?
I want to talk about Ramiz Brahimaj versus Soriano. Okay. I can see this going one of 2 ways. I can totally see Soriano sniping him on the feet, similar to how he did Uros Medic. I think Uros Medic is better than Brahimaj, especially on the feet. He got him out there in 30 seconds. But
That's true.
I agree.
he goes that wrestling route, he will get submitted.
Mhm.
I completely agree with everything you said, man. I completely agree with it. Brahmaj does not stand a chance on if it stays standing up.
No, there's no way. And I agree with that as well, too. You want it. So when I was looking at it, of course, I'm looking at the knockout and sub parlays and things like that. For Brahimaj, right now at a first and second round is a negative or a positive 210 on FanDuel as we're live right here. And then his knockouts is a plus 1,000. Even when you flip back up to the double chance with the knockout and submission plus 115, I like that. So for me, that's the perfect. And what really works out for this is you can get Soriano on the decision no bet with the plus 160 if you want to compare yourself on the Soriano knockout, because he can knock him out. If this stays on the feet a little too long, it will knock out. Do you agree with that, Dan, or do you think that that Brahimaj is going to be able to take this down to the ground fast?
Well, if he doesn't take it to the ground I say within the first 3 minutes, then I think he's getting beat up pretty bad. He doesn't have the stand-up offense or defense to stand with that man.
Yep. Walker.
So I like Rami's by sub plus 150. Actually, I think Soriano will do good on the feet. Then I think he'll shoot a takedown and put himself into a guillotine similar to Gafarov, Wilcats, but not within the last 10 seconds of the fight. Somewhere, I think Soriano will probably be winning until he isn't.
I do like that. And, the one thing that I do always like to do is the methods. So the submission right there, although we don't see Soriano doing a submission, the submission prop alone is 150 for both fighters. So you don't even have to pick a side. You can literally just do what you said, play submission 150. You're good both ways. That's exactly how we played this game too. Because when we look at this specific fight, knockouts plus 210, submissions plus 150, and points is 155. All you have to do is sit down and easily do the math, and you can make money no matter which way this fight goes. But we're all about kind of getting that decision. And for me, who do you got winning, Dan?
Truthfully, I have Brahmaj winning by submission. I mean, I think he's gonna get beat up if it stays standing, but I think he's just too good in the clinch and with his takedowns.
All right, Walker. You just said it. You said sub.
Yeah. He's a win by sub.
All right. That's definitely what we're going to be playing. Of course, we just gave you the numbers. Everybody out there, we got the numbers out. We're going to be playing that sub. Also, I'm a sick guy. I'm going to play that knockout in sub for 115. Definitely. And then, of course, they have this fight. The distance is a 1.5 it's a 1.5 on the total rounds. That's a plus 114. I could see this fight going that fast because both gentlemen, but if they get where Brahimaj gets them on the ground and they get locked up in a stupid little position and 3 minutes goes by in the second round, I would take the negative 215 on the distance, and I would take Brahimaj, which right now is a negative 118 for a plus 110. That way you get the coverage of both sides of that fight and you're able to run it back. And then you get money on everything. No matter what happens in this fight, we're going to make money, gentlemen. All right. Dan, is there a fight that you were kind of eyeballing or looking at, or maybe a redemption?
I really like the Smith-Hornell fight, man. Battle of the Unbeatens. It could actually go either way in that fight. I'm kind of torn on that one.
That's crazy. You are correct. Because for me, I love Smith. I love his attacking power. How about Walker? Why don't you take this for a few seconds while I flip with something and then talk about that fight?
So, Jose Orel, ever I watched both of these guys' careers, they're kind of similar. I'm not going to lie. They're pretty similar. Kobe Smith, he just looks way more physical, stronger, dominant. I believe he trains with DC. I forget where Josiah trains at. So I love either way I'm going. I love Hosea as an underdog right here. Plus 200. What is he? I'm taking it. I think it should be more even money.
I agree. I think it should be even. Like I said, I'm torn on this fight. I didn't know where to go on this one.
So for me, it was kind of the same thing. Josiah has the hands to make this a fight. What I'm looking at, and of course, me being loving the finisher, being a striker. So Walker, I've told you I'm a point fighter. So, I like striking. I love Smith's side on this one. So for me, this is definitely a fight that's going to go under. And the fact is when I went and looked at the numbers last night on FanDuel, now I do FanDuel and DraftKings. So DraftKings is usually a little different with the way that they set it up. But when I got to this fight, we didn't have any numbers on it. So, and they still, as of right now, FanDuel is scared shitless to even put something up because they don't know how to handle this fight because they know somebody's going down. So when this fight goes live, the knockout's going to be a negative 450 to a negative 650. The only way we're going to make money is a first and second round. You might get that with Smith with a negative 195. If you get a negative 115 plus 115 on the Smith side, we're taking it. Also, on the decision no bet side for the Harold side, if you want to play that decision no bet right there is the way to go because you're going to hit that easily if you want to be on the Harold side. So you can play both sides again, be able to make money on both sides. Walker, a little bit of what we do is kind of how I like to play. I play the hedge game, the wedge game, and things like that. This is another perfect fight where it could get a little stringy, and using that strategy is something I like to use. Is that something you also do when you bet?
Stringy? What?
Okay, like string it together.
Okay.
So Walker, I got some wild words that'll come out my mouth.
So like a parlay you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, parlay.
You're asking if I got any parlays. Okay. Yeah.
Well, no, not parlays.
No, not yet. No. Not yet. We'll talk parlays a little bit later, bro.
Yeah. So what I'm talking about when like hedging. So like hedging, playing the knockout side on the Smith side, but then going back and playing the no decision. So you get your bet back if this goes on the Herrero side. More so that's what I meant. Sorry for confusing you.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit new to betting. Recently got legalized here. Don't know much. So but yeah, I love the idea. I tried to do it during Waldo Derek Lewis. Failed horribly. Because he got the second round KO. I wanted Waldo KO first round. Yeah.
That's why. So that brings you up. Do you have first and second round as an option down where you're at? Do you know? Because that's
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think we got that for a plus 500 with Waldo on FanDuel.
It was like plus 350 for me. Waldo first round. I shouldn't have took it. I was being a little bit greedy.
Dan, when you hear all these numbers, we know that. So Walker already knows you don't really bet much, like my crazy ass.
No,
but when you hear these numbers, man, do you think that that's the smart way to play this fight too, and then go in with some blood after that? The first round knockouts, 30 seconds.
Yeah, bet. Bet no decision, no bet, or whatever it is. Yeah. Because I have no idea where to go. Like I said, I brought this fight up. This is the only fight on this card that really stumped me.
We got Ken Vick in the house. What's up, Ken Vick? Welcome to the show. Walker's first time. He's like, baby, what's going on? So we got our guy right here, Ken Vick, man. He's the man. He comes in, he says, what's up? And he talks some fight too. So he's probably excited to see a third guy up in here. So get ready for some wildness. All right. Let's go to another fight that everybody's talking about, but nobody wants to talk about, but everybody wants to talk about. Zach Reese versus Michel Pereira. This fight is going to be a banger, man. First of all, everybody hates Zach Reese. I swear. I don't see one word out there. Everybody's like, no, we don't like Zach Reese. And Pereira looked good fighting with strong Strickland. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm not playing that game. I gotta believe in Zach Reese, but man, did Pereira look good brawling. And then what was it? Josh Hockett called him a wussy for his recent video that Pereira just put out. And I'm just like, this guy's already running it. Dan, talk a little bit about that fight. What's exciting?
I'm not a big fan of Michael Pereira. Not a big fan. Like he's all show, no go. I really like Zach Reese. I think Zach Reese knocks him out.
I agree with that. Walker, what do you think?
This was one of those fights where I'm like, either this could be an exciting finish, like knockout of the night, crazy, crowd goes wild type of thing, and then like a crazy post-fight interview, or it's the worst fight on the card. I was there when Zachary Reese knocked out Julian Marquez in 13 seconds. I was there live. I was on a hype train. I was like, wow. And then 2 months later, fought Gilbert Urbina and took him to a decision. Like, come on, man. You're supposed to be finishing Gilbert Urbina if I got to trust you with my money.
Yeah.
So really, money-wise, I'm going to stay away from this fight. I'm not really interested in any lines because I'm not sure if who's going to show up. Their power is inconsistent. Everything inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something you want? Go on, Dan.
Both fighters are inconsistent, like you said. You never know which Michael Pereira is going to show up. Is he going to be the flashy guy that knocks people out, or is he going to be the guy that is timid and gets knocked out? I mean, which one's going to show up in any fight? So I'm not a fan, but I do like Zach in this fight.
Yeah. Walker, who do you like?
I'm going to go with Zachary Reese. Just because he's the underdog. Just because he's the underdog, I believe. Like plus 130. If I had to take anything, I would take that.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is, too, is – and so this one is one of the fights I haven't actually picked yet, and I'm going to pick it now. When I saw the fight originally lined up, it was Zach Reese. And it's because I want to see more out of Zach Reese. And what Dan was talking about, the Pereira and then all this showboats, just like what you were saying, Walker. We need this real man. We need to see that more all the time. If we don't see that, then we're not going to take our money and put it on you. But with Zachary Reese, with whether he gets knocked out or wins his fight, I'm happy regardless, because even like right now, the points is a plus 250, knockout's a negative 150. So FanDuel thinks that this fight's going to end in a knockout. Plus, I don't think, and I feel that Zachary Reese is not going to try a submission, and I don't think that he's going to be able to hold Pereira down that long to actually get that. Dan, do you think that that's possible, that this fight won't hit the ground?
It's possible, but it's also possible that he holds him down the whole time, because Pereira's not very good at getting up when he's down. So,
Walker?
So I will say Zachary Reese has been finished multiple times on the ground. He goes for the submissions, the triangle. I was also there when he got slammed by Cody Brundage at UFC Austin 2024 or whatever. Sarukian Dariush. That was awesome finish. But then he gets finished on the ground when he gets taken down by what's his name? This lost to Yusri Belgori. He got ground and pounded by him. So really, if he's on top, he should be fine. But if he gets on bottom, I can see maybe Michelle, maybe they'll manhandle him, maybe get a TKO from there.
That's possible.
You're talking about Zachary Reese's only 2 losses.
Yep.
So those are his only 2 losses.
Came from him being on bottom.
Yeah, but
but
he's been on bottom in multiple different fights. So I mean, those are his only 2 losses.
Yeah.
So I think that I will say on the Pereira side, from the video, if that's the Pereira getting that ring, I wouldn't want to be Reese underneath. But I don't think that this is going to get down. I think that these gentlemen are coming out for a genuine slugfest, and I think that's why the knockout is a negative 150. So for me, it looks like we all have Zach Reese. So do you think that there's going to be a knockout, or do you think this is going decision, Dan?
I think this will go decision. I don't think there's going to be a knockout. I don't think anybody's getting tapped out in this.
All right, Walker.
I agree. I think it will be at one of the most boring fights on the card.
So then, that being said, I mean, even when we were talking about the method of victory right there, the positives, it's plus 250 for the points. So right there alone, and then with everybody thinking, including myself, because I'm going to go for some finishes, team, including myself, you get the plus 128 with Reese right now, and then with the fight going the distance is a plus 260, gives you, well, I have that other parlay in there too, gives you a total of a 521 plus 521 on that. I'm definitely down for that. I'm going to throw money on that because I feel that that's a good way to actually carry yourself and hedge yourself. Now, I also, because Zachary Reese is the underdog, I'm going to also go play the decision Obectra, which will be a positive, right? Plus 134. Now we only have just those two right there. So that's how I'm going to do that. We'll be getting right to that right now, Dan. I wanted to throw a little bit in there just to kind of get it going. So, all right, we got that. So right there on the Zachary side of plus 134, if it goes over on his end, and a plus 531 on that. Other than that, Michel Pereira, I would do the knockout and points. And that right there is 2-2. And then we're going to move on to the main part of the show. Knockout and points for Pereira is a negative 110. There, you're covered. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the three fights that we're going to cover. First up, in this corner, we have the savvy Dan Ige. And in this corner, we have the surging, the thirsty Melquizal Costa. Dan, talk about it.
All right, man, I'm going to start with Costa. He's 6-2 in the UFC, but he's riding a 5-fight winning streak. He's a lightning-fast kickboxer that loves to mix up his strikes. He's also a dangerous submission threat, given his BJJ background. Look for Costa to mix up his striking and takedown attempts to keep Ige guessing. But Dan Ige, he's 4-4 in his last 8, but he's just 1-3 in his last 4. He's a consistent, versatile fighter that's not particularly great anywhere, but he's also not lacking in any department either. Usually he has good takedown defense, except for his last fight, and he's willing to meet in the middle and bang. He needs to keep the pressure and use his head movement and get the inside the pocket to have success in this fight.
Beautiful. Dan, always great. Walker, give your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I agree with him. I think Ige will be trying to look for the pocket, trying to look for the hooks and maybe overhands, as Costa might be throwing his body kicks. I believe he was throwing a lot of body kicks against Charrier that led to that head kick finish. But I think Ige is going to be wanting to counter.
Yeah.
With the overhand, right hand, square on the chin. As Melky's trying to come and just close the distance, bam, right on the chin. Potential knockdown. Then Melky gets a sub off his back. That's how it's going.
Dan, talk about that real quick. About that.
I agree. I agree. Costa loves to throw those body kicks, and I could see Ige eating a few of them just to catch one and have a takedown. I could see that happening because Ige's good on top. He's not good off his back. We saw it in the last fight against Pitbull, but he's good on top. Costa is sneaky good submission threat though, so he has to watch. He has a few wins while he's in bottom position. So that's key. And that actually that was the Feely fight. The Feely fight showed it, and that fight started off
kind of like this fight may start off was kind of like a little fist fire, and then Feely just goes diving in, and next thing you know, he gets snatched up in that guillotine, and that's a win for the Costa. So let's hit some of these numbers, and then we'll talk about the numbers, and then of course we'll take some hits and stuff. So distance, yes, is a negative 215. They think this is going the distance. Knockout to plus 260. Sub is plus 700. I'm definitely want some action on that sub. I do like the under 2.5 rounds at plus 205. So over on the Costa side, I like the knockout and points at negative 175. That's a nice one. Money line distance, yes, was a negative 134. So I looked at, this is what really got me. The Costa decision no bet is a plus 150. And he's the favorite. Normally they won't do that. So they're saying right there, at least FanDuel is, they're saying that Costa is not getting he's not going to be able to finish him. Now they feel that Inge is going to finish him because his decision no bet's a negative 192. Money line distance, yes, for Dan is plus 452. If you think it's going the distance and you want to hedge yourself with some, that's what you hedge yourself with right there on the Inge side. However, we do love violence. So first and second round knockout for Inge. He gets into the pocket, the way Walker was talking, the way that you were talking, Dan, the way that Costa was active with his kicks. If Inge gets in the middle, we've seen him one drop dudes with the left. So, and what I don't like about Costa sometimes, if Costa gets backed up against the fence, Inge is going to work that close and dirty boxing because he's still crisp. And I'm not taking anything from Costa, but I feel that when I see Costa getting beat against the cage, he looks inactive at times, like he's looking for a way to get out. And it's those seconds that Inge is going to be throwing those punches. If he gets up into that, I still think that the knockout and points on Inge's side at plus 195 is safe. Also, I got some knockout points today. Round 3 and a decision for Costa right there is, so that's a round 3 finish. Decision is a negative 145. Dan, how do you see this fight going?
I think Ige stops his losing streak. I think he gets inside. I think he works the body. And I think he takes it to the cage. He does a lot of cage pushing, and he does a lot of cage work in this fight. He keeps Costa at a safe distance, which isn't in Costa's range. I think Ige wins by decision. I think he does enough to win by decision.
That's a plus 452. Walker, how are you feeling?
So I got $4 on Melky Costa KO plus 900. I'm just like screw it. Like he gets to finish, crowd's going crazy. I think he might be able to keep on his win streak, and Ige will fall out of the rankings. I think this.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah. So you agree with that? Then if Ige loses this, he's definitely going out of the rank.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, he's out of the top 15. Absolutely.
All right.
But I think he would need one win to get right back in there. But other than that, no.
So
I think this is a career-defining fight for Ige. I think if he loses, he might get cut. That's how bad he's been in the last few fights.
You did back that up with the 1 and the 1 and the 3, and then bringing up the 4 and the 4, and how it's kind of just going downhill. And right now, the UFC, if you watch the news, we all watch the news, it's just been cut happy, and I think that comes a lot with Paramount. You have to be an entertaining fighter. Ige is an entertaining fighter, so I could keep them on for that. But for me right now, between the two, it feels like Costa can go further. So if Costa's going to go further, then he needs to win this fight. And this is how I'm going to look at it. So my action for this is that these two are going to beat on each other, but it's going to get late. I'm looking at the round 3 knockout is plus 3,500 for Costa. Also, the second and third round knockout for Costa is plus 1,800. I love that. But the round 3 knockout for both fighters is plus 1,300 on FanDuel. Yes, I'm going to play those because I feel, and when I bring this up later about a fighter that I may not even take in this fight, but says he's going to hit this round for a knockout. That is why I kind of went a little stringy on this one and decided to throw it in there. So, Dan, who you got winning?
I got Ige winning by decision.
Oh, yeah. All right. And you got Walker plus 900. Or Walker,
Costa.
You have Costa plus 900. And I am taking Costa by knockout and points, negative 175. That's my easy play. I want my knockout. I know he can wrap up. He can rack up Ige, but believe me, that decision no bet, I got that. Plus 150. Yeah. So right there, we got positive money no matter what happens in this. If the knockout happens, bang, we hitting. If that happens, bang, we hitting. Love it, man. All right, man. Now we get to a banger. Now
what's
we
up,
get to
Sorry, what's up, Andrew? And
what's up?
And Ken Vick, we can talk about that when we have an off week.
Yeah. That can actually be a whole episode. So let's just put that out there right now. That'll be, I mean, we don't have an off week right now. Maybe we'll do that on a Tuesday. But this Tuesday, we're going to be talking about WWE Elimination Chamber. So we'll definitely get that. And then Sunday, we'll do the review for UFC Houston. So we'll just throw that in there. All right. Let's get to it. Let's get to the co-main event. We got in this corner, Jeff Neal versus Uros. Dan,
what was that last name? What was that last name? What did you just say? Medic, man, Medec. He's 3-3 in his last 6, but he's riding back-to-back first-round knockout wins. He's a very unorthodox striker, and he's dangerous with knees and elbows, and he carries a quick jab and check hook while using leg and body kicks to keep distance. This should be a stand-up fight, but Medic is a sneaky submission threat also, so watch for that if it gets close. Neal, he's 2-3 in his last 5, but he's one of the hardest punchers in the whole UFC, and he also carries that power throughout the fight in all 3 rounds. He rarely steps backwards, and he's usually the aggressor with constant forward movement. He needs to stay on his toes and keep the pressure and land those heavy shots to keep this close.
I love everything that you said about that. And one thing you did bring up that was really good, and I'm going to throw in a number, and then we're going to flip it over to you, Walker. The sub line on this is plus 1,000 on FanDuel. If you're going to take one sub, just throw that down. I know that right there gives me the Medic side. I don't think Neal's going to go for it, but I like that overall 1,000 right there just because if something stupid happens, we've seen this happen, knockout artists just go get a tap. It's kind of crazy. Walker, how do you feel about this fight?
Yeah, so one of 2 ways. Either Neal's getting the first round knockout or Uros Medic is getting the first round knockout. I think Uros Medic hits way harder than Jeff Neal. I think.
What?
I just think that. I think he hits way harder.
Have you seen Jeff Neal hit people?
I mean, Jeff Neal hits hard, but Uros Medic, that's my guy.
So you're a fan. You're a fan of Medic.
I love Uros Medic.
Okay.
He's one of the nastiest guys outside of the top 15. All of his fights end by finish.
So
this dude's a potent finisher.
So as a fan, did I break him down good enough?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, he can kick and punch.
Yeah,
he's just nasty in the clinch. The way he was before he got subbed by Oral By, he was landing bombs in the clinch, knees, punches, just tight in there.
Those quick elbows that he lands all the time. Nasty.
And we just saw Jeff Neal get finished by an elbow. What if during the clinch, spinning elbow, break away from the clinch, closer than how Prates did it, but bam,
he was closer.
Spinning elbow.
We also see Medic get rocked by an overhand a few times.
Yep.
Yeah. No, he got floored.
One of 2 ways.
He got floored like right at the beginning of the fight. In one of whoever's fight, the dude just popped him and he was like, and I was like, oh, dude. Yeah. And so for me, let's hit these numbers. Distance, negative 800. knockout negative 425, sub plus 1,000. We got under 1.5 rounds, negative 196. That's actually something I'm going to take. So let's go over to the Neil side. Money line distance, no, negative 165. I'm down. Decision, no bet, negative 235. Perfect. Look, I'm going to cover myself. Knockout in points for Neil is negative 190. You don't have to play anything else with Neil. I don't think he's going to go for a sub. If I'm going to hedge myself against Medic, I'm going to take Jeff Neal, and I'm going to take knockout in points negative 105. But this is where I want to get a little crazy, right? So we're going to pop over here. Knockout in the first and second round for Neal is a negative 105. Second and third round goes up to a plus 370. I'm willing to put a quarter of a unit on that second to third round if for some reason it gets out of that. That's why I'm just going to put a little bit. However, round one knockout for Neal is a plus 175. And of course, the first and second round win. This doesn't mean anything. Just first and second round win for him is a negative 130. Those are just kind of ways to get little better numbers on those knockouts. Also, if the round two to start is a negative 110, if you feel that this fight is going to be under, a way to stack it on top of the 1.5 is to also throw on the 110. That's getting a little crazy. Over on the Medic side, right? Money line distance, no, is a plus 193. Knockout in the first and second round is a plus 310. That's just worth it. That's just worth the throwdown. That knockout in points plus 190. I'm done. But as Dan was talking about, the sub could be a play. That's why I'm just going to throw down a half unit on that plus 1,000, because that way it's going to cover this entire fight if that sub happens and everything else. Round one knockout is a plus 500 for Medic. If Medic can get that power, as Walker was talking about on his side, he'll be able to do it. And of course, round 1 and 2 knockout for Medic is a plus 260. But I don't think that this is going to get out of the third minute. The third minute in the first round knockout is plus 550. And if there's a knockout in the first 60 seconds, it's a plus 1,000. I bring this up because when you guys were talking, Medic reminds me a little bit of myself. As a karate fighter, I dip my hand. Medic dips his hands, right? So when he comes down, and this is something, he comes down, I do this. I switch my stances. When I lower, if Jeff Neal is in the pocket, Jeff Neal's going to crack him across that jaw. And that's going to end up flooring Medic, whose chin is suspect, but also has the other way. Dan, do you feel that scenario can happen?
I do think that could happen because if you look back at every one of these guys' fights, Medic, he gets rocked. And Neal's been rocked 2 times in his career, twice. Once was his last fight. How's that chin? That's what we got to ask. How's his head? How's the chin from getting knocked out with that elbow? Because that elbow was nasty. We all agree, right?
Yeah, that was nasty.
That elbow was nasty.
I mean, he dropped him.
Yeah. How did that all heal? But other than that, I think Medic has the more suspect chin in this fight.
All right, sorry about that. Cutting in on there on Dan.
Oh, you're good.
Walker.
So I think Earl's Medic is. I'm taking a dog. What is Earl's Medic? My bad.
He's a plus 176.
Plus 176.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like it. He's the money line, the straight money line.
That's what you want to play. You don't want to go money line. I mean, negative 800 really isn't something you want to throw on there anyway. It only makes it a plus 93. So I think what you're saying practically is the Medic side right there. Just play the Medic money line 176. If you want to get extra, throw down the decision no bet is plus 180.
I will say that in one of my parlays, I have this fight going over 0.5 of a round, minus 370. Pair that up with other favorites, you can get a good, nice, even line and double your money.
That's right. Dan, want to go to you first. Who you got winning, and how is it going, Dan?
I got Neil winning by late second round knockout.
All right. So Neil by second round. I think that was like that's a plus 550. I'm surprised you didn't have that there. Oh no, because I didn't have the second round. Second round knockout plus 550. Love it. Walker, who you got going? I know it's Medic.
Medic, late round one. I think late round one. I think this will not go into the second round.
All right, let's go. So round one knockout. I mean, we had that. We got it's plus 500, and that's perfect. So for me, I'm gonna look at this. Dan's got Neil. When I looked at this fight earlier in the week, I took Medic. I said, this is his fight. He's gonna win. My thoughts immediately went, and Dan knows this. I'm a fighting nerd guy, and I went right to Prontes. And the last time I seen Neil, he was getting spanked. So for me, I feel that Neil became my favorite. I want to pick Neil, so I'm gonna pick Jeff Neal. I'm gonna move off of Medic into Neil because I feel that this fight is going to go under. Oh man, you guys are killing me, man. You guys are killing me. You guys are making me change it. Overall, I'm playing the under 1.5 rounds at negative 176. I am playing knockout and points for both fighters because that way I'm going to get that money right there. And I'm playing everything other. I will stick with Jeff Neal. I moved to Jeff Neal during the week. I loved his crisper boxing. I feel that Medic leaves himself open. And when I kept watching that video of him dropping that fist, that's how all the boxers get me. That's how the boxers get me as a point fighter. When I'm allowed to kick the boxers away, I'm good. But when I have to fight a boxer inside, I drop my hands out of habit because of me being a point fighter and bouncing, and I'm gonna get cracked. And that's how I think it's gonna go down. And I'll probably be wrong, but guess what? We'll win money. Love it, guys. Love it. All right. So for the main event, we always do a kind of featured fight. So get ready for some wildness, Walker, as we get to it. We've got the main event. In this corner, we got the American Badass. That's his name. Sean Strickland. In this corner, we got the surgeon, the win streak riding, Mr. Anthony Luffy Hernandez. Dan, defend your fighter.
All right, you gave me Sean Strickland this week, man. He's 29-7 in his MMA career, and he's 16-6 inside the octagon. Although he's lost his 2 out of the last 3, they've been for the title. His wins speak for themselves, though, topping names like Costa, Adesanya, Magomedov, Imamov, and Hermanson. His forward pressure, jab-heavy offense keeps opponents on their heels with one of the best defensive guards in the division, and his takedown defense at 84%. He's a stylistic nightmare for Fluffy. Look for Strickland to do what he does best, stuff the takedown, move forward, and pick Fluffy apart with the jab. Let's not forget what Kevin Holland did to Fluffy just a few years ago.
My guys, Fluffy Hernandez. We're talking about a guy that went pro in 2014, 6 foot, 185 from MMA Gold, Mara Noble's martial arts. This brown belt BJJ black belt under the Mara Noble system is 15-2. It has led to 3 knockouts, 9 subs, and 3 decisions. He has been knocked out. He has been subbed. In 2010, he was in Ring of Fire 1. He fought a gentleman named Michael Green Jr. that he took the decision. That eventually elevated him to the LFA middleweight title match against Brandon Allen, which he won a decision. Fluffy has a motor deep down, almost is called the Marab of this division. Sean Strickland is the Rock of this division. Fluffy's takedowns are going to be the key to Fluffy winning this fight. Will he sub Sean? It's possible. Most likely not. But if Fluffy's going to win this fight, he has to take down Sean, make it look good, and that's what my client plans to do this Saturday. Walker, what do you got to say?
So I think Fluffy will get the takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
He will get the takedowns. I think he has way better gas tanks than Abus Magomedov, and Abus Magomedov was still getting those takedowns against him, and he just gassed. Just got tired just randomly in the first round. Like he barely even did anything. It wasn't even pressure from Sean Strickland. He just had really bad cardio.
But who won
and
that
he
fight?
still kind of does. He still kind of does. That Michelle Pereira fight, I was there live. Those two guys had more energy walking out. They didn't even show it on air. Both these guys were dancing, breakdancing on the walkout.
Okay.
But they also throw 100 less strikes per round than Strickland.
Yeah. So I think that's why I think Fluffy will survive. He has way better cardio. I think he should be able to win the first 3 rounds. Maybe Sean will start to gather something within the last 4 or 5 rounds, kind of remember that he was a champion and start getting up more, maybe start landing a little bit more shots. And it will go to a 48-47 decision.
All right, Dan, fly back at that right there. So we know how this fight's like technically gonna go, but rebuttal that.
I'm a Fluffy fan, man. Yeah, we've picked Fluffy many times on this podcast. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the wrestling heavy style that he brings, but I'm also a boxer. I mean, and Sean Strickland is a boxer at heart. He may not be a good one, but he is one. And the pace he keeps, he always throws that left hand. He's always throwing that left hand. It doesn't matter if it lands or not. And yes, he does have good cardio because he actually throws more than 100 strikes per round. Which is crazy for MMA. He's always throwing his jab, and he connects on a lot of it. And he has great takedown defense, and he can get up. You said in the Magomedov fight, he did get taken down, but he also got up and beat up Magomedov in that fight. Magomedov may have had more energy leaving the cage, but he lost the fight. It doesn't matter how much energy you have leaving. It matters if you win the fight.
Yeah. So when I looked at this fight, this is actually Dan talked about us picking Hernandez a lot. And the first time when I first started doing the Fight Club of Pain, Strickland versus DDP was one of the first fights that was covered. So I got to learn a lot. But I knew about Strickland before the fights. The teep kicks kind of worry me because that puts your leg out there and Hernandez can grab it. But Hernandez is most of the time a waist grabber. So I still see him trying to come through, which would allow Strickland to throw some punches down the middle, which that's what he does. Everything Strickland does is down the middle. It's great. And for me, of course, when I looked at this fight at the beginning of the week, I was like, it's Hernandez all the way because I feel he's going to wrestle. He's going to get the points. And just like we saw what happened with DDP, he got dominated by Chimaev, but DDP was able to at least get some points and land some of those takedowns on Strickland where that put Strickland behind on the cards. I don't think Hernandez can keep up with that punching volume you were talking about, Dan, but I think that he needs to get him down to the ground. I'm going to run through these numbers real quick. So distance no is a plus 108. Distance yes is a negative 136. Knockout 330. Sub plus 270. Points is negative 150. Under 4.5 rounds. I do like that, but that's a plus 128 because you still get that 4th round, and I'll bring that up why in a little bit. So when I go to the Fluffy side, money line distance yes is a plus 191. No is a plus 160. So right there, the decision no bet leads to a negative 310. Knockout and sub for Fluffy is a plus 175. I have action on that. I'm definitely putting that down. Sub and points is a negative 195. I didn't really want to play too much with that because I'm going to, instead of doing the sub of the points, I'm going to do knockout, sub, money line, distance, yes, plus 121. So I'm getting the plus 175 and the plus 121, and then I'm going to throw in that negative 310 at the side. Fluffy's sub is plus 290. His sub in the first, second, third round is a plus 500. And his knockout is the first, second, and third round is a plus 1,200. Fluffy has to get Sean out of there, and I will tell you why. Because money line and distance, yes, for Sean is a plus 383. Sean is going to outstrike him. It depends on how the judges are in Houston, if they're going to go grapple heavy or if they're going to go strike heavy. So this is a fight. You're going to have to learn the judges before you get to that fight, before you put in your major bets, which will suck for your numbers. But the reason being is if they're running the punches and damage in Houston on Saturday, you're going to want to lean that Strickland side. Strickland's decision no bet is a plus 225. Strickland finishing Hernandez sounds easier to say than Hernandez finishing Strickland. And that's kind of where I'm going. Money line distance, no, plus 421. Knockout and points, right there. If you play one bet, if you only play one bet for Strickland, knockout points, plus 230. That right there is that money line. Plus, his also money line is 230. Going over to some of the things, knockout in first and second round, I want action because Sean is coming off of that suspension. This is what this did. Sean has been wanting to fight for a while. Then he got suspended. He's in the news. He just caused problems. He needs to go out there and back his mouth up. So I'm going to have a happy unit on that action. But don't get it wrong. I was listening to Sean this week, and what Sean said is he's aiming for a fourth round knockout. So I'm going to put money on Sean's mouth. Fourth round knockout plus 3,500. Rounds 3, 4, 5 knockout plus 1,300. The fourth minute of the fourth round plus 2,500. Those numbers tell me that if you want to make money on that fight, you can make money on this fight because there's both positives for both ways if you got it. Dan, what do you think about those numbers and where does that lead you with this fight?
I think people think this fight's a toss, man. There's a lot of people going for Fluffy in this fight, which is respectable because Fluffy is a great fighter. I don't think a lot of people are giving Sean Strickland his respect in this fight.
Walker.
Yeah, I think Fluffy's gonna win, but not a lot of people. I see a lot of people on X, MMA, Twitter, or whatever, talking about how either Strickland's gonna destroy Fluffy or Fluffy's just gonna destroy Strickland. Don't buy into any of that. I like the spread. Why not do Strickland spread? I believe it's minus 125. Mm-hmm. I like that because if it's a split decision, like you said,
you win.
Grapple heavy judge, 2 grapple heavy judges, 1 striking heavy judge.
It's 2-1.
We could see a split decision here in Houston.
Yeah. So I don't have any of the stats. I kind of pulled this up with Australia last time when we were talking, but I don't have any stats or memory of the Houston judges, or I don't know who's going to be there right now. But I know that sometimes this happens. I tend to think that it's close to Vegas, so I want it to be a strike heavy. But then I think about that. When I went to DraftKings, they have under 6.5 takedowns landed for Hernandez at a negative 145. So they don't think that Hernandez is going to be able to take down Strickland more than 7 times. But Dan, when you were talking earlier, and Walker, you alluded to this too, it's sometimes hard to pick against that fighter that's been in the ring with the better competition. He's seen it all. He's seen Alex Pereira, right? He's seen everybody. He's Izzy. He's seen everybody. He's seen the wrestle happy people. He's seen the strike happy people, and he somehow gets through it all. And he somehow doesn't get jacked up. Even with broken noses, Sean Strickland will go through a fight He doesn't care. I feel that if Fluffy gets a broken nose or Fluffy gets bloodied early, that it's going to change his game plan. Do you feel that way, Dan?
Well, look what happened with Kevin Holland a few years ago. I even brought it up. Kevin Holland beat him up in that first round and bloodied him up, and he panicked the rest of the fight.
Okay.
And Kevin Holland ended up knocking him out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Sean Strickland can do the same thing. But this is, 5 years later. Who knows if he became more calm, if he became more grounded when he gets hit like that. We haven't seen Fluffy take that much damage in any of his fights other than that Kevin Holland fight.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see him take damage in this fight, and we're going to see what it leads to.
Walker, what do you think about that as well?
I actually think we've seen him take quite a bit of damage. He crunched over from multiple Kopylov body shots. And I was rewatching the Edmund Shabazian fight the other day at work. Edmund Shabazian was landing nasty body shots that obviously hurt Hernandez, and even some elbows in the clinch. But Hernandez still kept on the pressure and still drowned Edmund Shabazian within that second round, I believe.
I was talking
deep waters.
I was talking about wearing the damage, like for everyone to see, like the body shots. He can't. Yeah, body shots. He can't wear that damage. So I was talking about wearing the damage, like actually physically,
like actual like scar tissue opening up.
Yeah. So that would then, in a points decision, maybe lean it towards Sean because of damage shown, because Fluffy's not going to be that active. That's practically what he's going at, and I think that's possible. I think that is possible, and I think, like, again, this isn't he doesn't need a belt. This is practically like Fluffy's Super Bowl. Like, this was like LA Rams versus Seattle Seahawks before the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, because you've got two big guys. They're talking about Sean getting another title shot. We don't need that. But then we got Hernandez. You throw him in there against Chimaev, maybe that's a little easier. I don't know. But for me, if I'm looking at who's going to win this fight in a possible, I mean, I know it's Imavov. Imavov should get that title shot. Yes. But if one of these guys was to get a title shot, which one would it be for you, Dan?
I think whoever wins, I think if Strickland wins, he gets a title shot, because, I mean, you figure he already beat Imavov.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
And he beat, as soon as he beats Fluffy, who else is there in that division?
Yeah, except
unless you put him up against the gatekeeper Robert Whittaker.
I don't need that. Walker, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I if Strickland wins, he doesn't get a title shot. He doesn't get a title shot, especially the way I think he potentially wins by a split decision. After we just saw Imavov unanimously beat Caio Borralho a couple months ago. Like,
it'd be hard.
We were all on that Caio Borralho train.
I was.
I think Caio Borralho is way more dangerous than Fluffy Hernandez, especially on the ground. I think he would beat Fluffy Hernandez, actually, Caio Borralho. I think Imavov would beat Fluffy Hernandez.
I agree. I mean, do we see a Imavov Strickland rematch?
Maybe, but I would just prefer to see the dude that's actually on a winning streak against multiple opponents. Like Jared Cannonier, finish Izzy, beat up Caio.
I mean,
everybody give it to him.
Everybody finishes Izzy now.
He's trying to fight again.
Strickland couldn't.
Strickland couldn't, but he won. I mean, he beat the brakes off him.
All right, let's get to some of these fun little things. Dan, who you got, and who and what method?
I got Sean Strickland winning by decision.
All right. Sean Strickland by decision is a plus 383. Walker?
Fluffy split decision. I think I just see this being a really close fight.
Yeah.
3 rounds, and then the third round, I think it will come down to the third round. I think.
Round fight.
Yeah, 5 rounds. Strickland wins 4 and 5. Comes down to the third round. Fluffy wins 1 and 2.
Okay.
I think it'll come down to the third round.
I can see that happening.
I think this is why sometimes these judges, like, that's why I'm, focusing on that right now lets everybody know that when we get to these fights later in the card, we're going to make money. We always make money at the beginning of the fights. When you get to these fights, these are fights you watch because it's fun to throw a little money down, but we're not going to throw a lot of money down on these fights. Yeah, I have a bet for every one of these, by the way. That's just what I do. I'm a degenerate. But also on top of that, for me, it's also about learning the money, being able to take the chances. And by the time I get to this point of the night, I'll take a little bit of that extra money and throw it down. So you got Fluffy. We got you over there. Boom. My pick was Fluffy, and I did it for good reason because I feel, as Walker was saying, he is the surging of the two fighters. We have picked Fluffy a lot. I love Fluffy. I pick the new guys all the time. And I know I might regret this, but I think Sean Strickland comes out and he looked good. And I think that 4th round knockout. I think the only thing that stops a Strickland Imamov fight again is Strickland knocking out Fluffy and maybe getting that championship to get into the Chimev fight. But with Chimev out right now, of course, on Ramadan, which isn't that long.
When isn't he out?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Can we get Strickland and Imavov before we get the winner of that taking on Chimev around Christmas? Do you think that's possible?
Let's make that an interim championship fight.
There you go. I like that. Walker, what do you think about that?
No, I think within the next month or two, we should get maybe month and a half. We should get Imavov, Chimaev.
Chimaev ain't fighting in the next, and he's not fighting until late summer. I say September.
Yeah, you got that.
September.
Nah, you got that.
I'm saying October still. I said October like 10 episodes ago.
Yeah.
When we did the breakdown.
I say September. He fights maybe once a year, every 12 to 15 months.
So that's going to rule out any other fight that they're going to have to pick between the winner of this fight and Imavov. That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it. It's whoever. If Hernandez goes out there and subs Strickland, he's going to get the shot. If he goes out there and goes to a decision, I don't know if a decision for either fighter is going to go over Imavov, especially after what Imavov was able to do with Baralo.
Yeah,
so for me,
he's been dismantling people, man. He really has. Imavov looks crazy.
Yeah. So I am gonna go on the strong Strickland side. I'm gonna go with damage on this side as well too. I want to take that. Of course, I'm gonna be playing knockout and points. That's the safest bet for me. That's a plus 230. Again, with the decision no bet, plus 225, a way to double that up. I'm going to come back also on the Fluffy side, as I already said. Moneyline distance, yes, plus 121. And then I'm going to do the knockout sub, plus 175. I've got everything covered for both fighters. Everything's positive. It just takes that little bit of cash and you'll make your money. That's how we do it. All right. We got through it. This is the part of the show where everybody gets to get all the DFF information, all the bets and everything. And we're going to do one bet. I'll write it down and I'll try to throw it in as fast as possible because I know it's getting up there right now. I know we're just over an hour. That's not actually bad. So let's do the parlay. Everybody gets one pick from this card to happen. Dan, go ahead. Give me one pick from any of these fights that'll go on this parlay.
One pick. All right. Dan Ige wins by decision.
All right. Let's get it. So let me get that. Hey. Okay. This is going to be a juicy one here. Walker, what you got for me?
So can I bring up a fight say a bet for a fight that we didn't talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I like Carly Judice to knock out Juliana Miller. I got that for minus 115.
Minus 115. It's
I like
negative
that.
1.
I like that pick.
Yeah. No, I was surprised that I was kind of leaving it out there. Judice is going to destroy Miller, man. She's going to just like, this is one of those fights though, that just kind of just like catches us off guard. And sometimes like Shauna Bannon, when she won that fight that before losing the last one, I was like, well, how'd she get that? Right. And she got the choke. She's a freaking karate person. Right. Yeah. And then so that we flip it back. And you got this Judice, she's going to just straight out there. The numbers for this fight are really, really hard. So for me, what I'm going to do is you have Judice as the knockout. The knockout's a negative 115. We're going to put that in. But for me, I could even see us playing the first and second round knockout plus 115, and then the second and third round knockout plus 280. I think it goes under anyway. And for me, I'm going to, as part of this parlay, we will throw that in as Judice knockout. All right, let's go. My turn. Wait till you guys see this. Right now, this is a plus 1,091 for just 2 picks. So Dan's is a plus 550. Yours is the negative 120 on FanDuel. And for me, I'm going to go the easiest way. We're going to go right there. Where was my? There it is right there. It's the Coria fight, no distance, which is actually part of something that I'm going to have coming up. Yeah, I think this is going no distance. So with that, it put me into another stream. So Coria right there, boom, and this is Gurule. Coria versus Gurule. Fight goes a distance plus 108, brings that up to a plus 2,078. I'm hitting that, gentlemen. I'm hitting that. That's 3 easy picks. That's 3 things that can easily happen. And that's 3 things that can get you a plus 2378 return. All right. Let's get to this crazy part of the show. Speaking of one of the guys on that, Dan, let's reveal the soup can of the week.
All right, Walker, dude. I heard you didn't know what a soup can was. So have you ever heard the term tomato can?
Yeah.
While fighting.
Yeah.
All right, so we couldn't use tomato cans, so we call them soup cans here on Fight Club of Pain. So my soup can of the week is Dan Ige. It was a hard pick for me this week because I'm truly a fan. He's 19-10 in his MMA career, and he's a certified placeholder for up and coming fighters. We all know this. He's lost to the who's who of the division. He's lost to Pitbull, Murphy, Lopez, Mitchell, Evilov, and Josh Emmett. Ige is a fighter's fighter. He always bring it. I just feel he's past his prime. But I think in this fight, he goes back to his roots and he gets the decision win.
I love it. And that's where it leads to the plus 550. That's a hell of a bet. That's a hell of a bet just to put on somebody. When you say that Dan Ige is a plus 176 as a money line, but just for him to win with points is plus 550, it's just worth it. It's just worth it. And then this is where I'm talking about. By the time of this match, there's going to be so much damage done in this that the wrestling could get overlooked, which will lead to other things. I love that pick as well. And so let's get to the DFS part. So this is kind of a new thing. I usually do rankings on my Ultra Contrarian show. So I feel that you're going to have to pick for the DFS slate. You either have to go, of course, Hernandez or Strickland. You could even go both of them in this fight. They both can generate enough points. In Strickland's loss to DDP, he generated 76 DraftKings points. At 7,100, Strickland should almost be in almost every one of your lineups because if he wins, 7,100 for a guy, a former champion, is crazy. I love Duvalier. After the whole scandal of the betting scandal, the fight getting called off, my lineup's losing, my parlay is getting broke, Duvalier is back to sling it. Also, and I will tell you this, we'll get to the DFS Hero simulated lineup of the week after this. I'm going to go with Lebo Signani. Lebo Signani. That guy's name just says it forever. I love his price. I love his matchup against Phil Rowe. A lot of people are starting to leave, but bless you.
Thank you.
I love the whole Lebasanyane side of the things. I think that the knockout points on his side is a great bet. So that's going to be something I'm going to play. The DFS hero. This is the simulated. Carlos Leal, Dan Ige, Neil, Soriano, and also Lebasnyane. I can't say this today. Anyway, those are my DFS plays. After hearing those lineups, Dan, what did you notice about?
You're picking a lot of underdogs.
That's what DFS hero Walker. What do you think about some of those underdogs as well?
I like them, but this is fantasy, right?
Yeah, DFS
DraftKings, right? So
yeah,
I actually did it too. So I actually like Antidelia. He has the third highest price of my thing, but I think he should be able to get Sergey Spivak out of there within the first 2 minutes, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, if not, I'm off the hype train of Antidelia. He's cooked. He won't be anything.
I agree with that. He's definitely he's a target in a lot of my lineups. So earlier in the week, I threw together my DFS lineup. I went right for Medic, Strickland, Costa, Brahimaj, Devalier, and Lebasnyane. Hey, I said it for once.
You did.
For once. I did. I broke through the stutter. All right. Now, those are our DFS plays. Of course, at Dr. Roto, you get behind the code. If you use code word WIN, you can become our rich friend. We have the right here for all of your fantasy needs. I say that because the 5-tastic picks will be out Saturday morning. That article is over 90% this year since coming back with that. One of the hottest articles out there, but of course, behind the paywall. Got to pay up, son. Also, W Energy, code word bring the energy will make you have as much energy as me. If you're looking for that or just a little edge, it is no dyes. It's all pure coffee extract. I'm a fighter. I wouldn't recommend it if I didn't use it and perform from it. And it has performed for me greatly every time I've used it since. That's work. Also, DFS Hero, code word DOC, gets you 20% off of their product. You can get lineups like that for basketball, hockey, NFL season. The DFS Hero lineup has produced multiple 50K winners for Dr. Roto during the full football season, all season this year. So that's definitely something big. But for me, this is the crazy part of the show. This is the Parlay of Pain. Ooh, yeah. You know, I like that you went with the Judy's knockout, Walker. You know why? Because I like no distance, -210. Give me that all day. Let's go to the Rowe fight. We just talked about it. Distance, no. -196 brings the Parlay of Pain up to a +122. It was hard to make some numbers with this because they were rolling a lot of things, so I had to find a lot of mid numbers. Coria, no distance, +108. Delesia, under 1.5 rounds, -124. And we're going to go back to the Jeff Neal fight. We need this fight to end under 1.5 rounds for the +196. Let's go up. Second leg was a +122. Third leg was a +363. Fourth leg up to Delesia was a +737. And Neal added in is an 1165. Are those 5 things that you think can happen, Walker?
Yeah, Antidelia, like I discussed.
Yep.
I think that's the most likely thing to happen. Like I said, he should. I might put money on under 0.5 rounds.
Yeah, no.
If he can get because if I remember, the Waldo fight would have been stopped around the.
It was like 37 seconds, right?
Yeah, it would have been stopped under 2.5 or whatever.
Yeah,
2.5 minutes. So I think Spivak has a worse chin. I know we took him to decision, but he has a worse chin. Yeah. He's basically Tybura, but with judo. I mean, let's be for real.
Bro, I couldn't have said it any better. I could not have put
he's
it any
basically just
better.
Tybura with you, though.
Dude, Walker, we destroy the heavyweight division on this thing.
I
We
hate
usually
it.
talk about them as meat burgers and sandwiches.
I hate it. I hate the heavyweight division.
Yeah, it's trash.
So,
It's garbage.
is there any? It's so bad. Like, and this is what pissed me off this last week. And people actually came back at me. And maybe Walker, you might have something. Dan, I know you know I love this. The fact that Cuniv jumped Walter Walker has bothered me. Like, there's no way you let that boring ass fighter who fought a boring ass fighter in Almeida 2 weeks ago sit there rubbing on the cage, going like this the whole time. Get him off me. Get him off me. How about you get him off him yourself, Almeida? But no, you didn't do that. You let Cuniv cage push you for a whole fight, and you're ranked freaking 6th above Walter Walker, who would wrap you up in 13 seconds with your stupid ass ankle. The minute you got to that stupid cage, he would wrap around and get that. If we're going to do that, this whole division is a joke, man. I can't stand when things like that happen. And the fact, and like the one guy was like, well, you said Derek Lewis. Bro, it don't even matter. He doesn't need to be under Waldo Cortez Acosta. Acosta would beat the brakes off that dude. And Delija would even beat the brakes off of Cuniv. I believe that. At least Delija would die trying. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
And let me just say that we would sub whoever in under 13 seconds. Under 13 seconds. It would be like 5 seconds. We're going for that heel and ruining their whole fighting career. That's all we want to do is just ruin people's careers. We'll be the only fighter in the heavyweight division by the end of our career.
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. That heavyweight division is a joke. The whole division, not even just the top 10. The whole division is a joke.
Yeah, no, except WCA. I do like him though.
You know my feelings. Make the weight limit 205. Make it light heavyweight and down, and that's it. Get rid of the whole heavyweight division.
Awesome, man. I love it. So also just to throw it in before we get out of here, we're going to round robin these. So Walker, round robin, of course, you have to invest more money, but you got to come off of your units. You can't use full units. You come down. The Parlay of Pain always returns either it's gone 5-0 multiple times, goes 2-3, 3-2. If we can get 3-2 out of these finishes, we're going to finish in the positive for money. Maybe we're going to throw down $10 and only win like maybe $11.96. But the fact that we had a chance at more money to cover that sometimes is something that, we experimented last year with the UFC. It allowed me to use it with the NFL and it worked superbly. So it's a technique that, that if you haven't got familiar with yet, that it's definitely something that you might want to get familiar with because it's helped me with the Olympics as well too. So round robining, just make sure you just watch it out or talk about that or something. But yeah, dude, it's a hell of a ride. All right, guys, this has been a great show.
You can't forget Soup Can of the Week. I only missed one out of what 12 that I've done. One time.
You've done 13 or 14. You used to do articles.
Yeah,
and you've done
I missed
3 this year.
Yeah, I've missed one out of 13 or 14. That happened.
Yeah, we used to have Dan's Soup Can of the Week behind the paywall as well too. But we thought going forward, it's just easier to add to the show, give everybody something, a reason why to go to this site and win with the UFC content, the MLB content, the tools, and then, of course, the elite winning fantasy football and NFL DFS content we have at Dr. Roto. So it's like it's one of those things where just everything kind of goes together, and being able to add something year long like this is that. But, man, it was kind of a crazy show, man. Did you have a good time, Walker?
This was fun. It's always fun to talk about fighting with other people, betting. It's fun to see other people's perspectives on who they think is going to win the fight. All that matters is what happens on Saturday night. So,
that's right.
But what we say, it doesn't really matter until we see what happens. It's cool to predict things, and that's all it's all about.
You brought up something I did not know about you. I didn't know that you couldn't bet in your state, and it's kind of really new to you. That's crazy. I remember
It
when
was legalized December.
Damn.
Yep.
You ain't. Oh, dude, you're gonna have some fun. Damn, that's crazy, dude.
I actually hit big for my first event too. Manuel Torres KO and Macy Barber decision parlay. It was like plus 400. I had $25 on that. Made like 200 just from that. Hit from a couple other ones. I was like up 500.
Huh?
Yeah,
oh, dude,
nice.
dude, Dan, this guy over here, freaking, he picked Michael Johnson to win, right? And when Michael Johnson won, it was like a plus 1100 or something.
Oh,
and
against what's his name? Yeah. I picked him too. Me and Johnson from the same area, so I can't ever pick against Charles Johnson, Michael Johnson. Can't ever pick against him.
So when Dan had that, he got that win, but he had a long drive. Before he left, FanDuel was trying to buy his $10 bet back for like $400.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was scared shitless.
Yeah, I ain't taking that. Give me that. Give me all of it. He's already up like 2 rounds.
He didn't. What was that? What broke that parlay in the end?
Oh man, I forget what broke that parlay. Dude, it was like I would have won like what $7,000 or something like that off a $10 bet.
Wow.
And it was the only fight. It was the last fight of the night that I missed. Like I won. I won 4-1.
If he would have round robin that, he would have won so much money.
Wow.
But that's because it's just crazy world. It's fun. But for me, I do want to teach it out there that DFS and betting can work in unison. You'll see that sometimes when the underdogs win, it works better for DFS so that you can get a higher finish. And then when the big knockouts happen, then that happens. So like last 2 weeks ago, it was a big DFS week for me. I was like, in the top 10%. My bets ended up working out. I cashed a lot, so that was what made it good. But you'll see that trend, how it kind of goes like that. So, but that's a show, that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah.
So all right, Dan. But before we get out here,
come on anytime you want, Walker, man. I had fun, bro.
Yeah, this was fun. It was great to
fun.
be on more things.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
Birthday to you.
Yeah, I know it's my birthday.
Dan Vick. Happy birthday to you.
I'm officially old today.
How old are you?
45.
You're old a little bit before this.
Officially old. Officially old. Hey,
My dad's 40.
At least I don't look.
So.
At least I don't look 45.
Yeah.
How old are you, Walker?
I'm 21.
Man, you're a baby.
Yep.
I like my youngest daughter is almost as old as him. But that's
I raised the kid older than him.
But I gotta say, thank you for coming on. It was really nice to talk with you through the Juicebox Walker journey and the more journeys that Juicebox is going to take. Journey to his win. He's going to win his next fight. Put the money on that. And, it was great to have you come on the show and add a little something to the Fight Club of Pain, because that's why we call ourselves the UFC sheriffs. All of us together, everybody as a fighter, as a fan, has multiple people they follow. And sometimes that might judge some of our betting. And so we don't bet heavy on that. We watch the fight. We support the people that we do. But it's always great to get a different interaction through somebody out there. We've extended this seat to other people. You're one of the few people that took it. So it was really fun. So I hope you had a great time as well, too.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great time. You're awesome people. I would love to come back on here.
Anytime you want, bro.
Yeah.
All right. And Dan, doing anything crazy for your birthday tonight or this weekend before we get out of here?
I'm going to bed. I'm old.
I'm going to go have some beers in there with my wife, get this thing posted. And one thing that we always remember, Walker, Dan, we always remember to bring the pain. Yeah.
for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.